Yes, what's up, everybody? Saturday streams are for the sickos. I'm Jay Skeets here. I was going to say at the No Dunks Classic Factory, but really just here in my office, the old treadmill behind me. What's up? Shout out to the stream team joining me live right here on a Saturday morning. As you can tell, my voice is shot. Was down at the Fortress for game 3 of Heat Hawks last night. That turned into a banger. And I was screaming my ass off trying to get the Hawks that win, and Trae Young coming through in the clutch there. But we'll get into that game. I got some thoughts on it. A lot of fun with my buddy Grish, your buddy Grish, our buddy Grish, and our guy Dent down at the Fortress, which was delayed by 45 minutes because of a suspicious package that was, I guess, where was it? Somewhere outside the arena, in a stairwell right by the arena. Anyway, so the pops were flowing before the game because we had an extra hour just kicking it before they tipped off. But wild, wild stuff. If you're new to the weekend shift, we fired this up last weekend just because there's so many games on with the playoffs, big games, things you want to talk about that by the time, if you leave it all on the weekend, you talk about it on Monday, it feels like it was an eternity ago. So yeah, we're trying this out. 15, 20-minute reacts to some of the big games of the weekend. And I got some thoughts on Friday night's Hawks victory, saving their series. People pointing out in the stream team, hey, I'm looking at the description for this video. There's nothing about the Bucks Bulls game. Well, I haven't watched it yet. I was thinking about getting ready for this. I think there's been 25 games. If you count the 2 play-in games from last Friday, that was a week ago, the play-in games. My God. There's been 25 games since, and I've watched 24 of them because I watched the Suns-Pelicans game this morning, but I haven't watched Bucks Bulls. You know, I saw the score. I saw the Trey Kirby report from him in Chicago, and I don't know, maybe I'll catch the highlights. So I won't be talking a whole lot about that. You guys can let me know in the stream team, just how on fire Grayson Allen was, I guess, as the Bucks, what they beat them 111-81. Crazy. So I won't be touching on that one a whole lot, but I need you guys to subscribe to No Dunks here if you haven't already. Appreciate that. And hit that like button if you're enjoying the weekend shifts. You know, we get enough numbers, enough participation, enough subscribers on these, we'll do more. You know, there's some big games on later today. Can my Raptors stay alive? We'll see. And obviously Celtics Nets, there's that intrigue. So maybe we'll do a couple more of these later today. I got things to do, though. I got to clean the back deck. I got to get my car cleaned. The in-laws are coming. So it's going to be a busy day here. So let's get right into it. Actually, no, one more thing before we get into the game. We announced this, I guess, on yesterday's show. So if you missed yesterday's show, we got new shirts. Oh, throwbacks, baby. Yes, taking it back to the TBJ days and then the starters days. But you can go to nodunks.com for your new No Dunks gear. And nice little deal going on right now. If you want to get all 3 of those ones, so the 3 classics, the classics pack, as we call it, you can get it for a discount. You can get all 3 basically for the price of 2 using the code NODUNKS3 at checkout. So, but you can just grab one if you want. So go to nodunks.com for your No Dunks merch. Okay. So, like I said, down at the Fortress for game 3 last night. Good decision by me to go. You know, Lily, this guy, too busy eating bananas. He didn't want to head down. Dumb. You made a mistake. Tass, he was a little basketballed out. Okay, I get it. Like I said, we've watched a lot of games over the last week. He doesn't go down. But they missed a classic. Strange, though, when we came in. So we get there an hour before tip. You know, we take the subway in. And we get into the arena, no problem because we're so early. But when we walk in our gate, there's a bunch of security, and they're like forcing us one way. And we were going to be going that way anyway. But we noticed, like, well, that's weird. Why wouldn't you be able to go that way on the concourse? So we thought something was up. Then we get in there, hanging out, having a drink, talking, and then, you see, if you've obviously been to an NBA game, I'm sure there's a running clock. There's a countdown like on the scoreboard till tip time. And it's like, at that time, it's like whatever, 30 minutes because we're really early. And then at some point, it was like down to 20 minutes. And then suddenly it was like back to 35 minutes. I'm like, anybody else notice that? Like they've added more time. What's going on here? And then somebody notices that one section of State Farm Arena, like one whole corner of it, has no people in it. Like nobody. It's just all the t-shirts, the free t-shirts draped over the chairs. So we're like, okay, something is obviously going on. Then we start meeting people that are coming in, friends of ours, and they're like, that's insane. It's a zoo outside. Nobody can get into the arena. There's only like X amount of entrances for people to flood into the stadium or to the arena. So it was like a nightmare, I guess. We somehow just beat that. Anyway, we then learned, okay, of this suspicious package, there's police, canine units, and security arena and stuff like that, clearing the area. So, like I said, more time to have a beverage. They must have done great sales last night on food and drinks. I know there was an issue getting people in, but there was a lot of people in when I was there an hour before the game, and I'm sure they did some nice sales with people hitting a second or third. Let's get into the game though, because it didn't look good when the Heat went on a 21-0 run in the third quarter. The PJ Tucker experience, and inexplicably McMillan refusing to call a timeout. I mean, we were screaming, once that run got up into like the double digits, like maybe call a timeout and talk this over, but he didn't. And they're down 16. The Hawks are. The building is, they had played a pretty good first half. The Heat were missing a lot of shots. They shot 14 of 45 from deep, I believe, overall. I remember so many in the first half that it was like, well, maybe Miami's off tonight. Like, this has got to be the one the Hawks win, because they're just missing, these fairly decent looks that they've been hitting with some consistency in games 1 and 2. But McMillan doesn't call a timeout. Again, the building is like, ugh. But thank God that McMillan found a lineup that made some sense, played some defense. I mean, when you get down that much with like 9 minutes to go, of course, everybody's like, first thought is like, we got to score. Well, yeah, but if you're going to pull off the comeback, you can score as much as you want. You got to get stops. And McMillan found the lineup with Trae Young. I mean, I thought he left Trae Young out a little too long at the start of fourth quarter too, when they were getting into a hole. But he comes in. You've got Kevin Herter, and then the 3 bench guys, all huge in this game: Bogdanovich, DeLon Wright, and Okongwu. And that was the lineup. That was the fourth quarter lineup. Those 3 guys, Bogey, Wright, and Okongwu, they played the entire fourth quarter, which is insane. Basically for the most part, along with Trae Young and Herter. And those 3, like I said, off the bench, 17 of 27 from the floor, 19 boards, 7 assists, 3 blocks, and 3 steals. Huge. What will McMillan do in game 4 with them? I'm fascinated to see. Like, does he ramp up their minutes? Does he go to it earlier? This guy's an old school guy. He sometimes just gets stuck in his ways, I believe, but awesome. They turned the game around. Trae Young's going to get all the credit here for unlocking some things late. He scored 10 points, I think, in the final, 3:30. He hit that big 3 with 2.5 to go. I think Max Strus had hit a 3. And then Trae Young comes back, and Tucker is on this guy all night long. I mean, just so locked in on him. And Trae he just flicked it. I mean, it was sort of a logo 3, maybe a step in. He just shot it from his waist, it felt like. And that was, massive. And then he hits the floater with 4.5 seconds to go after the stop on Butler. Great call. That's the ironic part. We're crying. We're going nuts in the arena. McMillan, call a timeout. Stop the bleeding. They're on a 21-0 run. And then, of course, he doesn't call a timeout wisely at the end there to don't let the defense set up. Don't let Spoelstra do any changes. Game plan what they're going to do. Instead, Trae's got the ball. You're in transition. You're not going to get a better look. And what a play. What a shot to get into the paint. And just really it's a floater. It's a teardrop. It's, Tass might say it's a bit of a dinker and dumper with the way it hitting rim, hitting backboard, and dropping, and the place going absolutely bonkers because they looked dead in the water. The series looked over. Season looked over. 6 minutes prior to that. What a game. What a game. This is why you go to these things. And of course, why you stick around. Nobody was leaving when they were down 16, but you get the point. You're like, oh God, if they don't hit a couple shots and string together a couple stops, it will be over. But they did. Bogey. Whew. My God. I love FIBA Bogey. He's played in big games. He's not afraid of the moment. He looks the healthiest he's been. Over his last 2 fourth quarters in this series, he scored 28 points on 11 and 19 shooting, including 6 of 12 from deep. In the fourth quarter, the last 2 games, they lose game 2, but it's tight. It was a 3-point game at one point, and then they pull this one out. So that's really the notes I have on it. I mean, from the Heat side of things, I saw Kyle Lowry leave. That was huge for them. Hamstring injury. He's out in the third quarter, never returns to action. He said, I think, you guys can quote me or don't quote me on this or correct me if I'm wrong, I guess, that he's going to play in game 4. He said he's Wolverine. Is that what he said? So he should be back, but that's a scare for the Heat. Of course, I still think the Heat are going to win this series. I always had the Heat in 6. I thought the Hawks would put up a fight. I think they're proving that. Again, maybe McMillan's found something here that works. Can they take another one? I don't know. I think if I'm a betting man, game 4, Sunday, here, of course, in Atlanta, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go to it. I don't know. The line's going to be for the Heat, I assume, by a couple. So do they win this still in 5 or 6? I guess I'll stick with my 6. Sure. Give me one more Hawks win, be it in game 4 or game 5. But yeah, I guess Lowry will be back. I just can't wait to see what McMillan does because he has found the lineup. Trae even talked about it. He's like, the way they're playing him, Tucker, Butler switched on him, whoever, just they're hounding him. If that happens, they need other guys out there that can create. Bogey can do that. Herter can actually do that off the bounce. DeLon Wright, I mean, he is not a scorer, but he can attack. He can obviously handle the ball, and he moves the rock. He had a beautiful pass to one of the bogey threes. He could have shot that. Right, I think got it in the corner, extra pass, and then Bogey splashed it. I mean, we were screaming for Trae Young to just get the ball to Bogey. You could tell that guy is so fun when he's on. When he's on a heater, it's like just let him shoot. He's locked in. And then they didn't go to him for a couple of possessions, and we're going nuts. Just get him the ball. But Trae Young came through in the clutch in the end. Fun game. So happy I went. Dare I say I was even ecstatic that the game was delayed a bit because I had a tweet ready to go when I was headed down to the game. Okay, get your tweets out now about the 7:00 crowd for game 3 of the playoffs. I could see it now because traffic is brutal in Atlanta. People are sort of notoriously late. There was going to be nobody in the stands when that ball tipped if it had tipped at normal time. Was the game on ESPN, I believe, last night? Yeah, Shaq was in attendance, so it must have been. I was like, I can see it now. And then, it actually worked out in their favor, oddly, that thankfully this just, what was it? Was it a bag or a box that was nothing that they were suspicious of? Pushed the game back, and I think the crowd was helped out by that because they were actually in their seats a little bit. So fun. I got, see, my voice is gone. Oh, people are saying it's a conspiracy. Wow, right. They did the whole train move for the play-in game where they had the train, prevent, who the hell was that? I can't remember now. Who'd they play? The Hornets, right. Montrezl Harrell was on Instagram all angry that he had to walk 100 yards. So they set that up. You're saying now they set this up. Interesting. Interesting thought from a person named a commenter in the stream. I like what you're thinking. What's next? What'll be the next move on Sunday night for the Hawks? And I was going to say, I got very upset about the Raptors fans never being back in their seats by the start of the third quarter, right? Drives me nuts. I absolutely hate it. It's always empty in the lower bowl because everybody's getting their drinks, everybody's going to the washroom. It's just like hanging out in the concourse or in the bowels of the arena. And I was guilty of it last night. And here's what pisses me off, though. So, like Toronto, we eventually got tickets again. So we were sitting, great seats, lower bowl. And because you have access like to underneath, you can go get free drinks and food. You're down there at half. Everybody's down there, of course. And they don't tell you when the game is back on. Like, why don't it should be like you're at the theater, intermission, boom, lights flicker. Do they do this in any other NBA arenas? Like, nobody knows. We had no idea. There's not that many TVs down in this thing. So if you're not by one, you're not like looking at it. And then you're like, suddenly it's like, Jesus, the game's on. There's like 2 minutes into the third quarter. It's like, where is the update? Come on the speakers down there. Flicker the lights. Something to let some people know. I not that everybody's going to rush back to their seats, but get people back out there. Jesus. Because I had no idea. Do you have a watch? What the you want me to fucking set a 14-minute timer at the end of the half? No, I think they can flick the lights. I think that's a lot easier. Sorry, Shauna. You got me temper boyed there. I just want a quick little 2 minutes till the game starts, and then you can get back to your seats. But anyway, if you have other thoughts on the Heat Hawks, what do you guys think in the stream? You think the Hawks can tie this at 2-2 on Sunday night, or Heat bounce back? And Jimmy had looks. The last one, great D by Hunter. On the 3-pointer where he's fallen down, but Jimmy had that baseline jumper that he missed. Thank God for Hawks fans. They had their looks. I don't think they're too concerned. But you make it a 2-2 series and it's a best in 3, and then it's really, really fun. People saying Hawks in 7, people dropping Kakas. No, Jack says Heat in 6. Okay, Jack, you're a realist. I got a lot of blowback when I said Heat in 6 at the start of the series. The 1-8 matchup. Oh, Heat are going to kill them. Hawks are good at home. This is the crazy part. Have they won 21 of their last 24 games at home? It's something like that. People saying John Collins not healthy. That's for sure. He botched the dunk, the alley-oop. And it was like, hey, Johnny doesn't have it. And yeah, defensively too. It's bad. I mean, Capella could be back. He would be massive, just obviously protecting the rim and rebounding. But I don't know what his status is. Is he going to come back on Sunday? Or are they waiting, going to try and buy another game? We will see. Hey, thanks. Thanks to Graham dropping the pounds. Have a $5 towards the classic factory machine. We really appreciate it. You didn't need to do that, but thank you. Okay, so much fun. And I got to make the decision if I'm going down for Sunday night. I will say the SROs, standing room onlys, people have caught on to the SROs. We've said too much. They're packed. We were there, like I said, an hour before the game. We're gonna do our box out kids, get our little positioning. And even then, it was like there's people there sort of in front of us. Look at they're like a bit smaller people, so that was helpful. But then we got hooked up with the tickets anyway. This is the way to do it. Buy a standing room only ticket, watch the first half from the SRO position, which is always fun. I love it. I've said this before. It's great. You get a good little view. Nothing wrong with standing. You're into it. I'm smacking like the wall behind me and all that. And then you get the upgrade for the second half. Huh. Can't beat it. Thanks to the Hawks. So much fun. Okay, I got some thoughts on Suns Pelicans. If you'll humor me here as we hit 20 minutes. We'll make this quick. Chris Paul, you've seen the story before. He just takes over. 19 of his 28 late there. I guess New Orleans took the 1-point lead with like 5 and change to go. And that was the last lead they had because then Chris Paul, mid-range jumper, 14 feet, 12 feet, 15 feet, splash, bounce around. I think he had a couple of friendly rolls, didn't he, last night? He had a couple jumpers in the fourth that hit rim, hit backboard, dropped, got that soft touch, but they took control. Then he hit free throws because he's money at the line down the stretch there, and they pull it out. Pelicans put up a fight, but the bigs for the Suns, huge, 8 and 28 and 17. It was so funny because I was going to say after game 2 or heading into game 3, man, I haven't really heard from DeAndre Ayton much in this series. Like, I just feel like we hadn't talked about him. So that was a monster game. And then JaVale McGee, a lot of it because of Chris Paul, but 7 of 8 shooting, hurting the Pelicans inside. He had 15. So the bigs doing their thing. Jackson Hayes getting tossed. Uh, Trucking Crowder. That was a little strange. So he's out of there. That maybe hurt the Pelicans because he had been good in their game 2 victory. But Chris Paul, I saw this stat on The Athletic. Go to theathletic.com/no-dunks. Get your subscription. Of the 75 points Paul has scored in this series, 45 have come in the fourth quarter. And this is really insane. He's played 101 consecutive minutes, nearly. Call it 100, without making a turnover. He had 2 turnovers, which was obviously wild for Chris Paul in the first game. And he hasn't had one since. Just that's incredible when you have the ball in your hands that much and you are like dictating every possession, that you're not picking up an offensive foul here, or obviously just throwing the ball away or just losing your dribble. It's just that's so wild. So but that's Chris Paul. That's the point guard there. Jay in the stream team. Hey Jay, nice to see you still here, even though Tass accidentally blocked you on Friday's show. Chris Paul's post-game outfit was hilarious. I did see that, and that was a weird look. I wish I had a photo, but he had the hat and like the dress shirt and odd look, but hey, fashion, you can do whatever you want. So rough one for the Pelicans to lose. I mean, Alvarado going on his little run there, and Ingram and McCollum getting theirs. It looked like, wow, they're going to take a 2-1 series lead. No Booker. But Chris Paul says, no, we're not going to be doing that. And shout out to Monty Williams, like Cam Johnson getting the start. But then when Hayes goes out, he switches up Shamet gets the second half start. He's like, we don't need the size as much. And he had the big dunk Shamet did, I thought contributed. So that was a smooth move by him. And again, if Hayes doesn't get ejected from that one, then the game plan probably changes, and who knows how it goes, the whole butterfly effect there. But really, it's just like, it's amazing how many times this season, over the last couple seasons, it's just, if you were writing the AP report for Suns games, you could almost write them in advance because you're going to feel pretty confident about the line of Chris Paul scored blank of his blank in the fourth quarter, taking over control. And he hit usually 3 consecutive jumpers in the span of it's the same story every single time. That's why if you don't have a dog in this race, I know some people don't like Chris Paul, but my Raptors still alive. So I'm cheering for the Raptors to pull off the impossible, come back from 3-0. It starts today at 2:00 as the Raptors will make their triumphant series win in 7. But if you don't have a dog in the race, maybe your team's out of the playoffs. Are you cheering for Chris Paul? Do you want to see a legend, obviously one of the greatest of all time at his position, get that ring? I mean, a part of me does. I mean, also I'm a Devin Booker fan, so I'd like to see him win one. But it's just amazing that he's still playing at this elite level at this point of his career. Just takes over the game. That's all he did. So not much more on that. And then, like I said, Milwaukee crushed the Bulls. So you guys can tell me about that one, because wow. Here's what I know from that one. I did grab this. Trae's tweet from the game, retweeting a StatMuse tweet. Here it is. So StatMuse, Bulls lost by 30 points at home tonight. Biggest playoff home loss in franchise history. Trae retweeting it. Got on the Jumbotron, won Lollapalooza tickets, witnessed history. History being his team's biggest home loss in a playoff game in franchise history. Ugh. Yikes. Been there before, TK. I have flown home for many a Raptors games. Game 1s usually, only to see them lose. But this is rough. We'll have to get the TK report, because that game, it looked, again, this is the one I haven't watched yet. And if we're being honest, am I really going to fire that one up here this morning with 4 more games on today? I doubt it. I'll watch the condensed version. But the Bucks, Grayson Allen, the one killing you. Ooh, yeah, that would be rough if you're a Bulls fan there last night. And DeRozan doing nothing, getting locked up. Giannis didn't even have a monster game, right? I mean, he didn't have to do all that much. I think he played under 30 minutes. Bud must be loving that. Sam is telling me, Sam, I believe a noted Bulls fan, don't watch it. Yeah, I probably won't. I probably won't. Feel bad for Trae, but hey, got on the Jumbotron. Can't wait to hear that story. Do you think he showed the brownies? I hope so. Was he just dancing? Was it a dance cam? Was it with Benny? I have so many questions. And then I guess he won these Lollapalooza tickets because he was in the right row. What? They just did like a random draw? Congrats to Trae. Well, hey, look, if you're going to go fly home to your hometown city to see your team that hasn't been in the playoffs in 5 years, and they're going to get their asses handed to them by like their division rival, at least you win Lollapalooza tickets. That's a nice consolation. So I'm sure he had fun. We'll find out if he's sticking around for game 4, because he did say that was a possibility. Today's games, guys. Let's take a look. Yeah, there it is. See the big O, big fat O by my Raptors logo. That's okay. Here we go. You got to believe my series prediction wraps in 7. We take our first step today when the Raps hopefully survive against the mighty Sixers. We'll see what type of mood Joel Embiid is in here. I'm a little terrified. He meant every word he said to Drake, and he really wants to just drop the sweep, drop the brooms on the Raps. Slightly terrified, but maybe the Raps have fight in them. Big game there at 4:30. The 4:30 start. Hello, Mavs in Utah. We said, well, we were burying them. We were pouring the dirt on them on Friday's show. We said it's over. Jalen Brunson and Spencer Dinwiddie have ended the Mitchell Gobert Jazz as we know it. But will they prove us wrong? Show some fight, or are they actually 6 feet under? I think it's that one. Then we got Celtics Nets, huge. Nets need this one. Down 2-0 in that series. What type of game do we get from KD on ESPN at 7:30? And the final game there. Can the Wolves bounce back? Can Karl-Anthony Towns, actually do something? Can he take some shots at the very least? I said it on Friday. I'll say it again. The only thing worse than any star player in this league that has a bad night, shoots, 2 for 15, 1 for 10, Trae Young with that brutal game 1 versus the Heat. The only thing worse than that, which is bad, you don't want that, but it's not taking shots. I believe that too. I think there's some truth to that. I know you don't want to force things. You don't have it, whatever. You've got to make the right pass because if you're getting doubled, but you can't go down, at least not swinging a little bit. And what do you take? Towns took 4 shots. It's insane. That's insane. He has to shoot more. And he will. And we'll see what type of game we get there in game 4. So that's the schedule. That's all I got for you. If you're new to the weekend shift, subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube. Hit that like button. Keep dropping your comments. Share the show. Tell people about it. Let them know that we're here now on the weekends, at least sporadically. I'd like to get, maybe we'll get a classic game here in one of these, and we'll have to jump on. We'll get maybe Lily or Tass to jump on with us here if something's pretty special. Otherwise, we'll maybe come back tomorrow morning to recap them. We'll see. We'll play it by ear, but subscribe, hit that bell button, that little notification button so you know when we're going live, because I know I didn't give you guys a lot of time for this one, but that's the best way. And I guess you get notified that that the stream is starting soon. Love it, love it, love it. Get your No Dunks t-shirts, again, over at nodunks.com. Here, let's throw this up to send the Raptors some good vibes today. It's me, Wario. No, wait. I'm what am I? Not Waluigi. What's his name? What's Luigi's alter ego guy? I can't remember his name. Let me know. Come on, somebody quickly. Waluigi. Why do I want to say Waluigi? That can't be right. Now I'm looking at. Oh my God, it is right. Never mind. It's Waluigi. I guess it doesn't look as bad, but when you say it out loud, it sounds so stupid. It's a me, Waluigi. Go Raptors. There you go. Guys, thank you so much for joining me here on a Saturday morning with the weekend shift. Like I said, we'll potentially see you a little bit later today, and if not, tomorrow morning. Get your No Dunks merch over at nodunks.com and subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube. Okay, everybody, enjoy the games today. Peace.
You could stay